Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين. Lillahi ta'ala, correct your intentions. Let's continue in Surat Nisaa. And perhaps we're going to finish the 5th juz today. And maybe, if we do so, next week we'll start the 6th juz. We'll still be in Surat Nisaa though. So we're going to start on Ayah 133. And the author says, starting with the word of God Almighty, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن يشأ يذهبكم أيها الناس ويأتي بآخرين. If he wills, he annihilates you, O people. He will wipe you out and bring others in your stead, human or otherwise. You humans, you see yourselves in some situation, in some area. If Allah will, He will wipe you out, He will remove you, and He will bring others in your place. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ قَدِيرًا. And Allah is, over that, very powerful. And there's other ayahs in the Quran that have this meaning. إِن يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ وَيَأْتِ بِخَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. If He wills, He will annihilate you and then bring a new creation. Once I saw a brother, not too long ago. This brother from long time ago, I knew him. So we left from where we were. We were walking down the street together. So he said to me, the people aren't the same. It's not like it used to be. He's talking about the Muslims. So I recited the ayah for him. I told him, Allah says, إِن يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ وَيَأْتِ بِخَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. If Allah wills, He will wipe you out and bring a new creation. So he said, من كان يريد ثواب الدنيا فعند الله ثواب الدنيا والآخرة. من كان يريد ثواب الدنيا فعند الله ثواب الدنيا والآخرة. Whoever wants the reward of the earthly life, like the one who fights for the sake of the spoils. This is why he's fighting. من كان يريد ثواب الدنيا. Who wants the reward? Anyone who wants the reward of the dunya, like the one who fights for the spoils. So that, that's why he fights, not for another intention. That's a better intention. فعند الله ثواب الدنيا والآخرة. Then with Allah and none other is the reward of the earthly life and the afterlife. So why seek only one, the worst of the two? Seek the reward don't seek the worst of the two. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. And you are promised and threatened. Allah is hearer of the sayings, seer of the doings. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُونُوا قَوَّامِينَ بِالْقِسْطِ. All those who believed, be maintainers of justice. That's how the believers are. From the nation of Muhammad. The followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they really believe in justice and fairness and doing the right thing and stopping the wrong things. They're not fake like people who want office. They don't really care about what's good or what's bad, but they want power, they want money. They don't want to establish the truth, for example. They are concerned about their careers. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط. O those who believed, be maintainers of justice. شهداء لله, testifiers to the truth for the sake of Allah, for Allah's sake. Say the truth, testify to the truth, and be honest. Those are the Muslims. ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين. Even if against yourselves or the parents or the near relatives. That is, don't compromise the truth for yourself or for anyone else. You won't, for example, swear to a lie to protect your parents or your relatives. إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا. If he were rich or poor. If the defendant be rich, do not give false testimony to appease him. And if he's poor, do not give false testimony out of mercy for him. Rather, what? قولوا قولا سديدا. Say an accurate statement. Say what is true. It's talking about testimonies here. It's not talking about any time you're talking. When it comes to just talking, not giving testimony, then it's better to be silent than to say bad things. It's better to be silent than to say things without benefit. Sometimes saying what's true is not beneficial. Don't say something just because it's true. So again, the ayah here is about testimony, testifying. That's particular situation here. But someone might take something from here. I'm going to say something just because it's true. That's the mere reason why. That's not the reason why you should say something. You should say something because it's beneficial. If it's not true, yani, if it is true but there's no benefit, still you can afford then not to speak here. فَاللَّهُ أَوْلَى بِهِمَا. Allah is more worthy of them than you are. And He knows better about their welfare. Yani, fear Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala and testify honestly. Be truthful, honest witnesses. Non-biased. فَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا الْهَوَىٰ أَن تَعْدِلُوا. Therefore, do not follow the low desire, lest you deviate. وَإِن تَلْوُوا أَوْ تُعْرِضُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرًا. And if you advocate and testify, or you turn away and do not testify, then surely Allah is of what you do all-knowing, and He shall recompense you. And it's possible to explain وَإِن تَلْوُوا, if you pervert the truth in your testimony, أَوْ تُعْرِضُوا, or turn away and do not testify, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرًا. Then surely Allah is of what you do all-knowing. And don't forget, you don't testify as a witness if you weren't summoned, unless you know the person needs your testimony and does not know of your existence as a witness. Then you can inject yourself into the situation. But if he knows of you as a witness and does not seek your testimony, then do not inject yourself into the situation. And it's good practice for one to mind his business. What did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? Min husni islamil mar' tarkuhu ma la ya'ni. Among one's good practice of Islam is his abandoning what does not concern him. Yani, he minds his own business. Yeah, you know how to do that. Know the fine line between being concerned about someone and seeking people's business also. يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا آمنوا بالله ورسوله والكتاب الذي نزل على رسوله. Oh, those who believe constantly in Allah. Aminu billah. Believe constantly in Allah, where constantly came from. Because it confirms that they are believers. So they believe in Allah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Oh, those who believe. So they are believers. So he's commanding them to do what they're already doing. Aminu billahi wa rasulih. Believe in Allah and His Messenger, O believers. So here, since they're already believers, then that's why it means believe constantly. That's like what's in Surah Al-Fatiha. Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Guide us the straight path. But one of us believes that he's guided. Who here believes he's misguided? There shouldn't be a single one of you who believes about himself that he's misguided, has wrong religion. So you're already guided. Yani, assuming you're right that you are guided, you're guided. So then when you say, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim, guide us the straight path. The guided one is asking to be guided. So it means here, keep us guided. So we spoke about that before. So that's like how you would say to someone who's already sitting down, sit right there. Or if he's already standing up, you'd say, stand right there. And it means stay like that. I'll be right back, for example. يا أيها الذين آمنوا آمنوا بالله ورسوله. Oh, those who believe in Allah and His Messenger. والكتاب الذي نزل على رسوله. And the book, yani, and in the book, and believe in the book which He has sent down upon His Messenger, Muhammad, in pieces, in installments. His book that He revealed upon His Messenger Muhammad in installments. Nujum, yani the Quran came in pieces. وَالْكِتَابِ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ مِن قَبْلِ. And believe in the book, believe in the type of thing that's called the heavenly book, which He revealed to the messengers before. All at once, though. Any book before the Quran was revealed to its prophet, all together and all at once, complete from beginning to end. وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَكُتُبِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ وَمَن يَكْفُرْ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَكُتُبِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. And whoever disbelieves in Allah and His angels and His books and His messengers and the last day, فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا. He has strayed remotely astray. Yani, he is very misguided. He has gone far astray. What's mentioned here in the ayah, believing in Allah, yani, who disbelieves in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, and the last day. So that's 5 things out of 6 things mentioned in the hadith of Jibreel. Aren't there 6 main, yani, most important matters of belief? The integrals of the creed? Yes. 5 of them are mentioned here. Which one is the 6th one? Believing in destiny, it's good and it's evil. It's not right here. وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَكُتُبِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا. إن الذين آمنوا ثم كفروا ثم آمنوا ثم كفروا ثم ازدادوا كفرا. Surely those who believed, then disbelieved, then they believed, and again disbelieved, and then they increased in disbelief. إن الذين آمنوا. Surely those who believed in Moses, they were Muslims. Muslims who were called Yahud, that people would translate that as Jew, but when they believed in Moses, they were Muslims. ثم كفروا. Then they disbelieved by worshipping the calf. Many of them, not every single one of them. A significant portion of them, though. ثم آمنوا. Then they believed after that. They repented. ثم كفروا. And then they disbelieved in Jesus when he came. They denied the new message and they lied and said that the message of Moses is the final message. There is no law after the law of Moses. That any prophet who comes shall come upholding the law of Moses. ثم ازدادوا كفرا. Then they increased in disbelief by denying Muhammad. What about them? لم يكن الله ليغفر لهم لم يكن الله ليغفر لهم ولا ليهديهم سبيلا. Allah will never forgive them as long as they are upon blasphemy, nor guide them a right path. بشر المنافقين بأن لهم عذابا أليما. بشر المنافقين بأن لهم عذابا أليما. O Muhammad, give tidings to the hypocrites that they shall have a painful torture. So that's figure of speech there, because the tidings originally refers to good news. So this is not good news to be promised severe, excruciating torture. الذين يتخذون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. Those hypocrites who take the unbelievers as allies rather than the believers. Yani, those hypocrites who take the open disbelievers as allies. So those hypocrites, they are unbelievers themselves, but they pretend to be Muslims, so they are spies. And they are demoralizers. They they are in cahoots with the outward kuffar, yani they are in collaboration with them. It is another word. Yani, they work with the kuffar as allies rather than with the believers. الذين يتخذون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. Those who take the unbelievers as allies rather than the believers for the strength they perceive them to have. So they really want to be on the kuffar side against the Muslims, but they mingle amongst the Muslims as if they are Muslims. Those backstabbing, two-faced cowards. And amongst the Muslims are some who they like to make the non-Muslims happy, even if it means to, even if that's at the expense of the Muslims. They like to make the non-Muslims happy, even if that's at the expense of the Muslims. So don't be like that. We are Muslims. We are on the side of the Muslims, and we don't take the side of the kafir against the Muslims. If the Muslim is a wrongdoer, then you don't help him in the wrongdoing, but you don't be the ally of the kafir against the believers. أَيَبْتَغُونَ عِندَهُمُ الْعِزَّةَ. Do they seek honor from them? For they shall not find any with them. Those hypocrites, they seek honor in the kuffar or with the kuffar. فَإِنَّ الْعِزَّةَ لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Surely the honor belongs to Allah entirely in the earthly life and the afterlife, and none shall obtain it but the supporters of his religion. They won't get any honor from those kuffar, from affiliating with them, associating with them, etc., being their allies. وَقَدْ نَزَّلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الْكِتَابِ أَنْ إِذَا سَمِعْتُمْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ يُكْفَرُ بِهَا أن إذا سمعتم آيات الله يكفر بها ويستهزأ بها فلا تقعدوا معهم حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره. And he has revealed to you in the book that when you hear Allah's verses disbelieved and mocked, do not sit with them until they indulge in another discussion. You're going to be that Muslim sitting there in the presence of those kuffar, belittling the Muslims, belittling the religion, belittling the Quran, and smiling in their faces. Yeah, they're going to smile in your face too. It's not the same, though, going back and forth. Your smile in their face, not the same as their smile in your face. Because they're going to betray you too. You want to be their buddy, they're going to get you too once they get the chance. إِنَّكُمْ إِذًا مِثْلُهُمْ. Surely you would then be like them if you remain. If you stay there while they belittle the Quran and disbelieve in it, if you stay there in the session, you would be like them, sinful like them. Not a kafir like them, but sinful like them. And where is that? Is there somewhere else in the Quran that uh, prohibits the believers from being in the session of the kuffar as they are actively disbelieving in the Quran and mocking it? Yes, in Surah Al-An'am. إن الله جامع المنافقين والكافرين في جهنم جميعا. Surely Allah is gatherer of the hypocrites and the unbelievers in hell altogether. So it's clear for you. The hypocrites, they are unbelievers. So why they have a name other than unbeliever? Because they hide their unbelief and display kufr. So they have a special name, hypocrite. This is hypocrite in faith, though, not hypocrite just in deed. It's possible for a person to be a Muslim hypocrite. It would then not refer to his disloyalty in his beliefs and his religion. No, he has right belief, believes in Allah and His Messenger, testifies to the Shahada, he's a Muslim, avoids blasphemy, he's a Muslim. But he's a liar and he's a promise breaker and he has other qualities that makes him a hypocrite indeed, in action. And we're not talking about those ones. We're talking about those who are hypocrites in their beliefs, showing Islam and hating it actually. إن الله جامع المنافقين والكافرين في جهنم جميعا. Surely Allah is gatherer of the hypocrites and the unbelievers in hell all together, just as they have gathered in the earthly life to mock, to blaspheme and mock. Similarly, here, sometimes you say al-mushrikeen, the pagans or polytheists, and you would also at other times say ahlul kitab, the people of the book. Are the people of the book mushrikun? They are indeed. So why we just don't call them mushriks? Because they have something in particular about them, which is that they have the remnants of revealed books. So this gives them some special rules in our religion and gives them a particular name, but they're still mushriks. And the mushriks who don't have the remnants of a revealed book, they don't have special name other than being mushriks. الذين يتربصون بكم, those hypocrites who await your outcome. فإن كان لكم فتح من الله قالوا ألم نكن معكم. If you have a victory and spoils from Allah, they say, were we not with you in religion and jihad? So give us some of the spoils. وَإِن كَانَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ نَصِيبٌ قَالُوا أَلَمْ نَسْتَحْوِذْ عَلَيْكُمْ وَنَمْنَعْكُمْ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And if there were for the unbelievers a measly share, meaning a wretched victory over the Muslims, a victory that has no goodness because it's only for the earthly life, and it will reap the sins that go along with it, and then they will have torture in the afterlife. But if they got the upper hand over the believers and they had some measly share, meaning they took spoils. قالوا ألم نستحوذ عليكم. The hypocrites say to the unbelievers, did we not have an advantage over you since we could have killed you? We could have killed you because we were acting like we were on the Muslim side. Didn't we have an advantage over you? Didn't we look out for you and not kill you? وَنَمْنَعْكُمْ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. But we protected you from the believers. You owe us, so give us a share. فَاللَّهُ يَحْكُمُ بَيْنَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. So Allah shall judge between you and them on resurrection day by admitting you to the garden and committing them to the fire. وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا. And Allah will not give the unbelievers against the believers a way. Allah will not give the believers, Allah will not give the blasphemers the admittance into paradise that He gives the believers. And He will not commit the believers to hell as He commits the blasphemers. Thus, the blasphemers will not be able to say to the believers, if the believers were in hell and the blasphemers were in paradise, in the worldly life you fought us with our allies, the hypocrites, and now you are in hell with them. Kuffar won't be able to say that to the believers. This is Allah's promise to the believers to not give the blasphemers a way against them in the afterlife. So that's At-Tabari's explanation of the ayah here. وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا. Allah will not give the unbelievers a way against the believers in the afterlife. They won't be able to say to the believers, look at you in hell. Here we are in paradise. إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ وَهُوَ خَادِعُهُمْ. Surely, the hypocrites behave as if they deceive Allah, and He leaves them deluded by protecting their blood and money in the earthly life and then punishing them in the afterlife. إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ. Surely the hypocrites behave as if they deceive Allah. Yani, they pretend to be Muslims. وَهُوَ خَادِعُهُمْ. So one might translate that literally as, and He deceives them. He is their deceiver. And the way it's explained here is, He leaves them deluded by protecting their blood and money in the earthly life, and then punishing them in the afterlife. So they're seeing themselves as protected while they're alive, but then finding themselves punished in the afterlife. This is the significance of the wording here, that someone might translate it as, He deceives them. But we're not going to say He deceives them. Allah Ta'ala is not a deceiver. Rather, this is a case of what? Muqabalah. Muqabalah, you know it. We saw it in Surat Al-Baqarah, and it's also in other places. That's when you say something that has a meaning, and then you say the same word a second time, but with a new meaning, because of a relationship between the two circumstances, or between the two meanings. So the second time you say the word, it doesn't have the same meaning as the first time. إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ يُخَادِعُونَ اللَّهَ. Indeed, the hypocrites behave as if they deceive Allah. وَهُوَ خَادِعُهُمْ. Yani, but He leaves them deluded by protecting their blood and money on earth and then punishing them in the afterlife. How's their blood and money protected? Because they pretend to be Muslims. So they pretend to be Muslims. They show the Muslims that they are Muslims. So the Muslims treat them like Muslims, and therefore their blood and money is protected, like is the case of any other Muslim. And not only they do that, also they marry Muslim women as hypocrites, if they were able to. So they pretend to be Muslims so that they can get the benefits of being a Muslim. That's one of the reasons why someone would be a hypocrite too. Not just to spy on the Muslims and to be a demoralizer, but also to reap the benefit of being a Muslim, though he doesn't want to be one, such as marrying Muslim women and other things. Because marrying the Muslim woman is the honor of that is only for a Muslim man. وَإِذَا قَامُوا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ قَامُوا كُسَالَى. And when they stand for prayer, they stand reluctantly because they don't want to pray. They don't have faith in their hearts. يُرَاءُونَ النَّاسَ وَلَا يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. They show it to the people for their approval. They display just the prayer and Islam for the people's approval, and they do not mention Allah, they do not pray but little. Only if they were seen. If no one were around to see them, they wouldn't pray. And if they could get away with not praying all the way to the end of the time, they're going to wait all the way to the last minute, and then they will pray very fast, like how a bird pecks the ground. مُذَبْذَبِينَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ. Waverers between that blasphemy and belief. لا إله هؤلاء ولا إله هؤلاء. Belonging neither to those believers nor to those pagans. Because maybe the pagans don't know that they are hypocrites. It's going to blow their cover. وَمَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَلَنْ تَجِدَ لَهُ سَبِيلًا. And whomsoever Allah misguides, you shall not find for him a way to the guidance. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. O those who believed, do not take the unbelievers as allies instead of the believers. أتريدون أن تجعلوا لله عليكم سلطانا مبينا. Do you want to give Allah against yourselves clear warrant for punishing you? Do you want to do something that makes you deserving of being punished by God? He can punish you anyway. But you want to do something that what you do is a reason for him to punish you? إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ مِنَ النَّارِ. Surely the hypocrites are in the lowest level of the fire. وَلَن تَجِدَ لَهُمْ نَصِيرًا. And you shall not find for them a defender. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا. Shadda and Fathas in the wrong place. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا وَأَصْلَحُوا وَاعْتَصَمُوا بِاللَّهِ. Except those who repent from hypocrisy and amend their deeds. They redeem themselves. They amend their deeds and what they ruined. They redeem themselves. وَاعْتَصَمُوا بِاللَّهِ. And they trust in Allah. وَأَخْلَصُوا دِينَهُمْ لِلَّهِ. And they dedicate their religion to Allah. فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Those are with the believers in the worldly life and the afterlife. وَسَوْفَ يُؤْتِي اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. And Allah will grant the believers a grand reward. ما يفعل الله بعذابكم إن شكرتم وآمنتم. And what would Allah do with your torture if you are grateful and believe? Yani, He will not torture you. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ شَاكِرًا عَلِيمًا. And Allah is Shakir, rewarding abundantly for little obedience. So literally Shakir means thankful or appreciative. So I'm not going to say those for Allah, so I'm just going to say Shakir. And the meaning is rewarding abundantly for little obedience and knowledgeable of what you do. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. That's the end of the 5th juz. Any question? Did you say that the believing followers of Prophet Musa were called Yahud? Yes, they were. Those original Yahud were Muslims. They were called Yahud. And likewise, the Nasara, the original Nasara were Muslims, but they were called Nasara, Nazarenes. Were they called Yahud because they moved back and forth when reciting the Torah? They were either called Yahud because they said, Inna hudina ilayk. Indeed, we have repented to you. Inna hudina ilayk. So they were called the Yahud. That means those who repented. Or they were called Yahud after Yahuda, uh, Judah, the son of Jacob. Said, how did the Jews end up with this title? So I just said for you. Yeah, the two of you basically asked the same question there. Is there any mention of women hypocrites during the time of Prophet Muhammad or any other prophet? Yeah, in the Quran, المنافقون والمنافقات بعضهم من بعض. The hypocrites, male and female, some of them are from others. يأمرون بالمنكر وينهون عن المعروف. They bid the evil and forbid the good. ويقبضون أيديهم. And they hold each other's hands. They are supporters of each other. And actually, here's the ayah that I meant to bring to you today for an example of muqabala. Nasullaha fanasiyahum. So if you translate it literally, it says, they forgot Allah, so He forgot them. So Allah has not attributed with forgetfulness. So it means they neglected to believe in Allah, so He will leave them in hell forever. إن المنافقين هم الفاسقون. Indeed, the hypocrites, they are the vice doers. وعد الله المنافقين والمنافقات والكفار نار جهنم. Allah has promised the hypocrites, males and females, and the open kuffar. He has promised them with the fire of hell. خالدين فيها. Forever shall they dwell therein. هي حسبهم ولعنهم الله ولهم عذاب مقيم. That's Surah Tawbah, ayahs 67 and 68. Said the Jew lady who poisoned our beloved prophet, she would be considered a hypocrite. I didn't hear she was a hypocrite. I heard she was a Jew. Like, I didn't hear that she was a Jew who pretended to embrace Islam.
Sheikh, right?
Yes?
About that, the female and the male hypocrisy, you can go to Surat Al-Ahzab, ayah 73.
Surah Al-Ahzab, ayah 73?
Yes, please.
Also mentions the female
and
hypocrite.
mm-hmm.
Suratul Ahzab. Such a nice surah. ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات, so that Allah would torture the hypocrites, males and females, and the pagans, males and females. ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات, and forgive the believers, males and females. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا, and Allah was in eternity forgiving and merciful.
Sheikh?
Yes.
Also, I was wondering if you could elaborate more on the. You mentioned there can be a Muslim who has a correct belief, but he's he's like a munafiq. Is it because he does some type of pretending?
He is a munafiq. It's just not a munafiq in his creed. You said, could I mention more about that? Actually, I don't have more. Yani, I can just clarify for you that the hypocrisy, this two-faced quality that a person has, this sneaky, two-faced attribute of a person, this hypocrisy, sometimes it will be in a person's conviction, so that he would pretend to believe in what he doesn't believe in. His beliefs. Yani, so he's so sick. And sometimes it's not in the person's belief. So he's not pretending in terms of what he believes in. But it is in his behavior. And so he will lie. He will lie to you in your face, even if he's a believer. He'll look you right in your face and lie to you. Or he'll promise you, and will break his promise to you. Or some other behaviors. I'm not talking about a person he told a lie one time, so he's a hypocrite. No. Saying this is how he is. Subhanallah. A very odd thing if you ever met a Muslim who smiles in your face and yani, what he gives you with his smile and his behavior is different from what he has in his heart for you. Very disturbing thing. Subhanallah. You know how, maybe you know, there's like immigration issues in the United States and elsewhere too. So, but in the United States, there's some people, they like, they're advocates for people who are called illegal aliens. They're advocates for them to not be deported or something. So what some people do, they go to those people, they say to them, would you take one of those to your house? Then they will never say yes. So interesting. Why you want to take one to your house? They'll never say yes. Like, do you believe in what you're saying or you don't believe what you're saying? Subhanallah. Case of the hypocrite. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Some people so used to just lying and saying whatever they have to say to get by, doing whatever they have to do to get by, backstabbing people and smiling in their faces. Like, some people, they can talk trash right about a person. It's just, yani, a couple footsteps away from it. Then when they finish talking trash about the person, we'll walk right up to him, smile in his face, like they are buddies. Wal-'iyadhu billahi ta'ala. They're used to it. Yani, it's just how they are. He said, if one dislikes another Muslim for one reason or another and he smiles to him, for example, is this also considered hypocrisy? No. Because you could smile at him for the sake of Allah, not to hurt his feelings. That's not even haram. He can get reward for that. But that's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about something else. It's just like if you have your Muslim parent and they're getting on your nerves. Muslim parents getting on your last nerves. What you gonna do? You know, smile on his face, smile in their face, inshallah ta'ala. Make them feel good. It doesn't make you a hypocrite. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك